Blades fans, subscribe to Blades Ramble. Up the Blades.
As always, the Ramble is sponsored by Action Coach Sheffield. If you're a growing business and you want support to continue that growth, they are the people to speak to. Thank you for John and the team for their continued support for the Ramble. Today's Ramble is sponsored by Wellstoned Landscapes. From lawn to luxury, creating outdoor elegance. Wellstoned Landscapes covers most areas of Yorkshire. If you mention the Ramble when asking for a quote, you'll receive 10% off any work. Call Paul or find him on Facebook in the details below. What is happening, Blades? And welcome back to the Blades Ramble. I'm, of course, Jimmy, and this, looks a bit skewy, actually. Does it look a bit... Oh, I don't know if I need to adjust the camera at some stage. We're all right. We can be in one of them, can't we, for now? Hope you're okay. Hope you've all got your balance. I'm, of course, Jimmy, and this is the day after Tuesday, because that's what day of the week it is. So thank you for joining me. We've got loads to get through, but the big news, the biggest news of them all, I'd have gone on earlier today, but we've had an electrician at the house. Yes, that does mean what you think it means. Not only have we had spotlights installed in the studio, we have had internet wired into the studio. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah. So, fingers crossed, because it's never guaranteed. We are a Sheffield United channel, after all. All right. I'm just getting a message through about something else. Yeah. It's never guaranteed because we're a Sheffield United channel, aren't we? So things aren't going to run smoothly for us, never do. But you wouldn't expect it to on the Ramble anyway. So we've got loads to cover today. And I'm not going to be sticking around for ages. I'll make sure I get through as many comments as I can. I do want to see my daughters at some stage because I'm back on tonight. We're back for, we're back for the warm-up at 7 o'clock tonight. Getting ready actually for the big game. That will be all eyes on the Preston game. That's going to be tricky. We can talk a little bit about Hecky coming back today, though, during this stream as well. And then either tomorrow or Friday, we will be doing Hot Off the Presser, depending on, obviously, when the boss's presser is. So, Ramblers, I know you keep a keen eye on that for me. I will appreciate if you can continue to keep me posted on when the presser is going to be. We shall see. So, I first have to address an elephant in the room, a big elephant in the corner of the room over there. Yesterday, my mate Connor, and this is, again, I haven't planned what I'm going to say here, but I have prepared something because I think it's only right. So he went on a stream and talked about how arrogant I was as a Sheffield United fan about us getting promoted and going to finish above them and all this sort of thing, because he'd seen a clip from Three Mardy Blades that said we'd all done our points totals at the end of the season. And I think I'd got us to finish on 96 points or something like that. It turned out we were unbeaten because I couldn't put us to beat, but we were doing it on off the cuff, Ramble style. Mine was the lowest points total, by the way. Well, you'll see for yourself what happened, but because I'd said, oh, we could actually finish above Leeds, this will be self-explanatory anyway, I put a little clip together of it. So this is basically, Connor tried to spin something about myself, and it annoyed me a little bit. So I put a, we're not arrogant. He kept saying, we're not arrogant as Leeds fans. We're not arrogant. And the one thing I will always do is I am always, straight down the line, whatever I say is my opinion about my club. Our club, but it's my opinion on them. I can't speak for the fan base. So if I'm saying something that's an arrogant claim, that's me. That's not... Other fans, Sheffield United fans, will disagree with me, might not disagree with me, but I can't speak for the entire fan base. This is what the old channel's built on. So the fact that he'd misread what we'd said on Mardy Blades and run with it as us being arrogant, and then went on to say how they're one of the top 6 teams in the country. I'd had Leeds fans messaging me saying, oh, it doesn't help us to be sort of put in that pocket, in that space. So I put this together.
Hey, fancy another one? I don't think we're an arrogant fan base. We're just not.
An arrogant fan base. We're just not. We're just not.
A lot of other fan bases haven't experienced this to the level where the entire country is laughing at you because you're the biggest club in this division. That's what it always is. And you're one of the biggest clubs in the country.
We're just not.
If it wasn't for the goalkeeper, I'm being honest, I think Leeds would be about 8 to 10 points clear.
We're just not.
I think Leeds are really going to press on the neck. There's going to be a reaction to West Bromwich Albion, I'm certain of it.
We're just not.
We've still got the best squad. There's an argument we've got the best manager.
We're just not.
But with Leeds, it'll be another national holiday if we fell apart from here. But I don't think this will happen.
We're just not.
Champions again, ole, ole. Champions again. Champions again. Champions again, ole, ole.
We're just not.
The champions are back again. I don't think we're an arrogant fan base. We're just not.
Is that a walking contradiction or is it not? And again, I don't think you're speaking for the entire fan base. How can you speak for an entire fan base? And that's not me pandering either, because I think some Leeds fans are like that. Genuinely think they're one of the biggest clubs in the country, and that's fine. But to sort of say we're not an arrogant fan base, but we are one of the biggest clubs in the country, I disagree. I disagree. At the moment, you're not. At the moment, you're not. So that was my opinion on it. And because he'd misconstrued what we'd said, and this is actually the way it played out.
This is Jim from the other channel as well. I'm sure Blades fans are going to go show him this, which is exactly what I want you to do. But yeah, this is just the changing of the guard, which has happened all of a sudden. So after sort of massaging Leeds fans' egos when all the Leeds fans were on his stream not long ago, suddenly Jim has flipped the script, has sort of flipped the script. And let me just put you on to just a little clip I made earlier on.
But they're going to finish above us now. They are. Because of that game, they're finishing above us. So,
okay, we'll start again. Right? A little bit of an interruption here. Jim is a Sheffield United channel. And here you go. Stay with me. So, he'd said before Leeds were champions, unequivocally.
But they're going to finish above us now. They are. Because of that game, they're finishing above us. So, you take it on chin and you say, well, next best thing we can do is make sure we go up with him. Okay, so Dave's nailed his thoughts down that we're going to be champions.
That gives us 24 points. I've gone for 97.
Yeah.
I'm on 97. Jim's on 96.
I think if we get 96, we're champions.
Oh, I thought you said something different, sir.
No, I'm afraid I wouldn't say that.
Because of that game, they're finishing above us.
I'm on 97. Jim's on 96.
I think if we get 96, we're champions.
So there you go. So Jim's prediction was different last week to what it was this week. So they finish apparently on 96. And 96 wins you the league. So by my reckoning, I've always got a clip, lads. Trust me. Always.
Okay, so Dave's nailed his thoughts down that we're going to be champions. Paul, do you think 97 points is enough to be champions?
I think it'll get us close. Yeah. I think it'll get us close.
I think if we get 96, we're champions. I do. I think that's how.
Do you think so?
I think that's how it'll go. That means Leeds will get 20 points, get less than 20 points in the next 11 games. No, to be fair, they could break 100 quite easily, couldn't they?
No.
They could easily break 100 points.
I think that mine and yours would give us second. I think if Dave's wish comes true, I think we probably win the title. So
You expect so?
Well, saying that though,
If we got those results and we didn't win the title, I will drive the trophy to Leeds myself.
Well, it's not going to happen because we're not going to get those results, are we? Let's be right. Context is key, ladies and gents. Listen, right. The one thing I'm going to say now, straight off the bat, after playing those, I think we can both see what's happened. We can all see what's happened there. Connor has tried to twist some of the clips into his own narrative, and I'm just hopefully dispelled that was a load of rubbish. I still think Leeds will win the league momentarily when we're throwing out random live results that we hadn't even thought of, throwing them out on the fly. I got us up to 96, which is probably more than I think we'll actually get. So you think, oh, actually 96 points should win your league. And then you'll see, I glanced at the table. I thought, actually, No, Leeds could easily break 100 and probably will. Leeds will be champions of this league, but I stand by what I said. There's no flip-flopping here, and there's no pandering either, because I'm quite open with the fact that with me living in West Yorkshire, I want nothing better than to get one over on Leeds, because they, to me, are my main rivals. All my mates are Leeds. We've talked about this before. There's no hiding places on the internet. So he can come with his receipts. But if you're going to clip them and manipulate the footage, I have to put it right, con man. I have to put it right, pal. So, again, what I will say is, me and Connor are mates. Everything we say on this channel, on his channel, it is banter that you would go back and forth with your opposition mates in the pub. There is no ill feeling between the channels. We are mates first and foremost, really. So if we thought anything were going too far, then we'd just say to each other or something like that. We'll still be on battle lines tomorrow night. I'm sure I'll get some stick covering comments on Leeds channel. But yeah, it's one of them things that just be fair, lad. Be fair. Show it how it is, rather than try and twist it to fit your own narrative when you're obviously the official spokesman for the entire Leeds community. Josh says, really hope Hecky gets the reception. Thank you, everybody, for that, because we're obviously going to jump into some comments now. I just needed to cleanse that, because I will never apologise for sticking up for my club. Never apologise. And if that makes me arrogant, then fair enough. I'm not saying we're going to go and smash Leeds and win the league. I'm not even saying we're definitely going to get automatic. I think we are better than Burnley, particularly on last night's evidence. They've got a wobble in them, as have we. I think man for man, we've got a better squad. So I'm confident that we've got enough to go up. I don't think that makes me arrogant, but I'm confident in my team, and I want my team to do well. And when we're at this shoot yesterday, I'm backing my team, because I want us to do well. But there's a difference between wanting and willing your team to do well and expecting it because of the size of the club and things like that, which, is some people's rhetoric. I understand that. Josh says, really hope Hecky gets the reception he deserves. What a fantastic manager for us. And he's showing that now in his new role. I think he will, Josh. I certainly think he will pre-kick-off. I think it certainly depends how the result goes. Obviously, Hecky's got to come and do a job, hasn't he? It's nothing personal. He did a great job for us. I'm delighted that Chris Wilder's in charge now, by the way. I don't want to get that misconstrued in any way. But he should get a good reception. Of course he should. Of course he should. Afternoon, Jimmy says, Harry, hope you're okay, pal. How are you feeling for the game? And how you going? I am going, mate. And I am okay. I mean, I'm feeling pretty confident going into this game. Preston and no mugs. And we have to take... It's so cliche in it to say take each game as it comes. But you have to. You look at Preston in front of us. They've got a really strong record recently. I know they only drew with Swansea last night, 0-0. But they are really solid now. Brought in 2 centre-halves in January. Firmed everything up at the back. Hecky, like we've said before, no mug. Will be strong. Will be strong, no doubt about it. And we'll talk about it more in warm-up tonight. But we have got enough to beat Preston. So concentrate on the job in front of you. Don't think about the Derby game in, a couple of weeks' time. We've got Preston, and then a very quick turnaround to a very impressive Bristol City, who I think have just jumped up to 7th in the league. The level on points with 6th place West Brom. Not an easy game. One game at a time. So I'm confident for this game on its individual merits, because I think we've got enough. But one slip up, and it could all go to pot, couldn't it? Ian says, afternoon, Jimmy. Perfect timing. Just finished working. Nice one, pal. The dogs will have to wait a bit for their walk. David says, the dogs can wait, Ian. Afternoon, Jimmy and all the Ramblers. I'm sat outside wondering when that grandson of mine's going to cut my grass. Get him sorted, David. Up all the Rambles, up the Blades. Thank you, pal. Grass, try 2 feet of snow, says Rob. I think Hecky will make this game very tight, he says. Yeah, I agree. It's interesting because I've got a perspective from JSGC, Aaron, who's a Preston fan, and that'll be played out tonight on the warm-up. And without sort of throwing too many spoilers out, they think if we break their resistance early, we could have a decent game. We could run out 3-4-1. But it's how long we hold out for, because they are difficult to break down initially. Tough game, says Luke, going for 1-0 or 2-1. Hecky knows how to keep teams out most of the time, but hopefully our quality can be shown. I hope so, pal. Hello, my friend. I'm thinking a comfortable 3-1 win, says Ricky of Just United. Please like and subscribe, says Ian. Whoop, whoop, up the broadband. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Look, I did this last time, and we thought we were out at Woods, didn't we? But are we not freezing? Are we all moving around? Jack says, afternoon, Jimmy. Hopeful no more freezes for you now. Well, fingers crossed, pal. Thinking at 3-0 at the weekend. Think we'll be a force at home now. 3-0's a big scoreline against a tough Preston team. We'll see. Lee says, is that all chef channels can talk about? Electricians? I don't know. I don't know the backstory, to be honest, pal. Just woke up and Jimmy's live. Nice one. Up the ramble, up the blades. Top man. Lisa's marching on together. Just United says Connor knows what he's doing. He likes getting people rattled, but you know my feelings. I still think we're going to win it. But I'm not blind to the fact that we can drop into the playoffs. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I'm just as comfortable winding each other up. I don't mind any of that. But just be straight. Don't try and twist. You've just got to be right. If I will always hold my hands up and I'll come clear. It looks like I'm going to be wearing a Leeds shirt, doesn't it? Let's be right. It looks like I'm going to be wearing a Leeds shirt. I'll have to cross that bridge when I come to it. I still haven't come to terms with it. And that was my suggestion. And I think that's what he's sort of thinking I was being arrogant for. But I just think it's a laugh. I think it adds stakes and stuff like that. And obviously I'm the one that's going to get the kick in the teeth for it now. But all part of it, all part of having a laugh in the build-up. So I don't mind that. If we drop into the playoffs, Rick, I don't fancy us. Now, that's not arrogance, is it? But I don't fancy us because I think if us or Leeds, which is obviously very unlikely, drop into the playoffs now, after being top two for so long, I think it's such a kick in the gut. I'll say gut because it's PG channel. It's such a kick in the gut after being strong for so long and looking like we're going to go up. Yeah, whereas I think Sunderland might be strong because I think they will be cut off from automatics with 2 or 3 games to go, maybe a couple more. 96 can actually win you the league. It can, Maury, but I don't think it will. I don't think it will. In fact, one of the questions we were asked yesterday is for like what were it? Like an unpopular opinion or a wild card prediction. And I said all top 4 teams could lose 2 games each as they struggle to hold their bottle for promotion, because it could easily happen. We've certainly seen Leeds do it before, but we're not great at holding our nerve. But remember when it was the Bielsa season and Norwich went up champions, it were 18-19, and it were who could mess up more, us or Leeds. It weren't a case of one of us grabbed it and ran with it. It were always nervy. So I think that could just as likely happen. It's a wild card pick, but and on our 3 Mardy Blades stream, I picked us not to lose at all, but that would just by going through game by game. Walter of Hope Valley Railway Enthusiast says, why keep giving that Leeds man the time of day? It's a Blades channel. Because it's a rivalry, Walt. And it's my main rivalry, to be fair. And I appreciate it's the blue half of the city for most. But it's one of them. It's one of them. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. And it has seen us grow as a channel. It's got more attention for our channel. Connor's videos have done well out of it when we've come on there. I think it's good content when we're together. And I like being on screen with him as well. We get on well. So that's why I give him the time of day. And that's hopefully why he gives me the time of day as well, Walt, to be fair. Afternoon, Jimmy, fellow Blades. Connor's trying to get a job on the BBC News. Maybe so. I don't think they take them sort of hairdos, but it's one of them things. Jimmy, without the -2, we'd be 1 away from them. Yeah, we would. So it's very fine margins in it. Very fine margins. I don't think you can deny, though, that they are playing free-flowing, attacking football, and we are playing. What's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? Professional. We're putting in professional performances, aren't we? We're getting the job done. I don't think we have reached the potential that some of these individuals in our side can reach so far. Andy says 2-horse race for second, Jimmy, I reckon, up the Clarets. I think you're probably right, pal. I think you're probably right, particularly after last night. Were you nervous after last night, Andy? Were you nervous after your performance? Because I didn't think you looked too assured. But again, flipping that, you could also say it's the sign that we've done that this season plenty, where you aren't very convincing, but you hang on and you put it down to good game management in the end. I know they scared you a little bit towards the end, but it's going to be nip and tuck, I think, all the way through to the end, because there's no layup. Jimmy Ladd says, Big Tone, how would it be if we win a week on Sunday and go top, if we win a week, how good would it be? Oh, mate, it'd be incredible, wouldn't it? Absolutely incredible. A lot has to happen the right way around, though, Tom, for that to happen. Maurice, I tell you what would be great if Southampton come and nick him before the derby. I don't think it'll happen because of all the complexities with the compensation and stuff. But if Southampton come in and nick him before then and they're deflated, that's what I'd like. I can honestly say Leeds will win the league, and that's a sad reality, says Maury. Their squad's stronger and fitter, but I do think we'll go up as second. I can see Burnley falling off. Certainly hope so, Maury. Ultimately, I mean, I want to win the league, firstly for bragging rights over the Leeds fans, because that is what a rivalry is built on, isn't it? But also, I don't want to wear a Leeds shirt. I don't, clearly. When you strip all that sort of peripheral stuff back, finishing second is, there's no real difference in terms, certainly not the bigger picture. You both end up as a Premier League side the following year, don't you? So that is the next best thing. Andy says both teams have a wobble or 3 for sure, Jimmy, but nothing wrong with last night's win. No, you take it all day long, don't you, Andy? You take it all day long. And if you spin it the right way, and I'm talking like from a Parker perspective, really, you can let that galvanise you in terms of, look, we weren't at our best and we still managed to grind it out. So there's always different ways of looking at the situation. Luke Blades says 96 isn't outrageous. That's the average of the first 35 games over 46, including the -2. So, yeah, well, that was my points total, Luke. If you'd seen 3 Mardy Blades, and when I initially hear 96 points, I automatically think, well, that's champions points tallies. So that's where I said, as you've seen the clip now anyway, but that's where my mind went. Well, we champion. And then you look at Leeds and you think, well, they're on 76 already with another 11 to play. So if they carry on with their trajectory of points, they're going to be over 100. So they're going to win the league most likely. And it's daft to sort of say that with a lot of conviction when they're only 3 points in front, but they have been more convincing than us. Certainly the last half dozen games. Could be worse. Could be them over in S6, wiltering away, and Sausage Roll is apparently leaving too. Absolutely right, Murray. It's getting tasty in the league. I love it, says LUFC Passion. It is getting tasty. It is. And Burnley did neither of us any favours, did they last night? I thought Cardiff might have squeaked something in the end. Didn't quite happen. Afternoon, Jimmy, at work hiding again. Blades just need to do their thing. End of. Stuff boring, Burnley. I'd rather watch paint dry. It's effective though, isn't it? It's getting them what they need. I wouldn't want to watch it. I was talking to Joe from Turfcast, and he says it's been a tough watch at times this season, but it's effective, isn't it? I have to take them seriously, but hopefully all their eggs in the FA Cup basket. Oh, is that Alessandro? Burnley? They're out of the FA Cup, aren't they? So that won't be the case. What are the piggies going to do, says Lee. Not bothered, to be honest. Also, Preston will be a no walk in the park. What I think we have to watch out for, informed teams and them near the bottom of the league, they will be playing for their league. Okay. Honestly, says Jez, I wouldn't miss the Leeds United so-called banter on the channel if you were to stop doing as much of it. Okay, pal. Okay, I'm always interested in. I enjoy it, I have to say, Jez, and I always like to make content that I enjoy. But obviously, it's about what you guys want to see as well. I think you might feel slightly differently if we were. You might not, but you might feel slightly differently if we were on top and they were below. But we'll see. Hopefully, we'll get to find out if that's true. Don't know why we hold Leeds in such high regard, says Kyle. Genuinely think the Fulham side that were beating teams 7-1 every other week were better. Whilst it's only a 3-4 goal difference, points difference, we're in it. We are in it, technically speaking. They need to lose or draw a couple of games, don't they, really? Which could very realistically happen. But then we have to match them for the rest of the season as well. I think we need to go up. We need to go up. I don't know. It's getting nervy, isn't it? It's getting nervy. And I think that's why we're all a little bit sort of twitchy about it. That comment with the question mark. I pressed it by mistake, Maury. Don't worry. Carl says, hope you're well, Jim. And your dad too. Predict a 2-0 win against Preston. Yeah. Could see that happening, to be fair. Hope so. And my dad's very well, thank you. Thank you for asking. I'll let him know. There'll always be Muppets from Leeds. It certainly will to us and Chrissy Wilder, won't they? I loved that. That was what it was about for me. When I was first watching the fan channels on the. I was watching all Leeds TV, and Connor and Joe Wayman were on there, and they were crumbling, watching and Wilder on the wind up. I love it. It's a huge part of it now. Certainly for me, that we go back and forth. Leeds are due a slump in performances, says Rick. They are, but can we see it happening? I hope so. I obviously hope so. Will says, is it right if Anel gets booked any game until the Pigs is suspended? Big loss, if so. I believe so. Anel and possibly Vinny as well, somebody was saying, which isn't great. Under 18s are 3-1 up on 59 minutes, says Ian. That's good to see. And he says, yeah, second half worried, but like you say, same as you, lads. Better than most teams, but not miles better. No easy games at all. Bottom 6 teams turn into Brazil now. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? And I think sometimes people look at the fixture lists and they think, oh, we've got Plymouth, we've got Luton, we've got Derby, or whoever it is. Well, they are the teams that are still fighting for something. The teams you want, not for us, but just to use them as an example, are Sheffield Wednesday and, I don't know, Norwich. Whoever it is that's Millwall, whoever's in the middle of the table with less and less to play for towards the end of the season, those are the games you want, because they haven't, they're experimenting. They might as well go for the win. They might as well try a different style of football heading into next season. They might as well try a few younger lads, see if they're going to kick on. It's not just necessarily on the beach mentality, but it's, we've nothing really left to play for this season. So let's think about the best interests of the club at this stage. So-and-so's a big earner. He's going to be out of contract at the end of the season. So we might not, there's no point playing him again now till end of the season. So I think those are the teams rather than Luton, Plymouth, Hull, Cardiff, who gave you a good game last night. This league is just, it's brilliant, isn't it? It's absolutely brilliant. Due to working in Barnsley, a majority have big egos, to be fair, says Morey. I'd rather us go up this season than next, as the league will be more difficult. Next, Ipswich will be a force in the Championship, says Rick. Yeah, they will. Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton will all be a force, particularly if Southampton get Danny Roll. We've seen what he can do with an absolutely terrible team, an absolutely awful side in Sheffield Wednesday, and get him to mid-table. It's like getting a Sunday League team into League Two. It's really, really impressive stuff. So the fact that he's leaving them is brilliant. And if he gets what will be a top Championship side in Southampton, then you've got to fancy him to go really well next season as well. It'll be a tough league next year, and that's more why I think we need to get out this year. I don't think we need it as a club. I don't think it's like essential to the fortunes of the club. I think we're in a good place financially in terms of our structure, but obviously it's a huge financial bonus going up. Huge, and it'll be very difficult next season. Lives in that, watch out for informed teams and bottom of the table, they'll be playing for their lives. Absolutely right. Josh says Burnley's goal difference could help them get past us. Hopefully we can get a big win or two before the end of the season. Do we think it's going to come down to us and Burnley, that game? I'm hoping it'll be done by then, one way or the other. And obviously, you know which way I'm hoping it goes. I just think there's so many games between now and then. We both play Coventry. I think, have they got to play QPR away? Or they've got to go to Coventry away? There's some really tough fixtures for both of us. I know the Wednesday game is awful for us as well. Preston, they're still in it, says Alessandro. So hopefully that's their focus, not the league. Oh, you mean that's their focus in the FA Cup, not Burnley. Okay, got you. Burnley and paint drying, no truer comparison. Bob says, Jimmy, serious question. Has Hamer put on a stone in weight these past few weeks? Still a class act, but stamina's letting him down. He always looks heavy set, doesn't he, Bob? He always looks really sort of, not immobile. That's the wrong word, but he's quite squat. And it's easy for him with his frame to look out of shape, I think, personally. So I don't know whether he's put extra weight on. I think it's probably a challenge for him to stay fit all season round, especially when you're having every 6 weeks off because you're getting to maximum bookings. But that's a different story altogether, isn't it? Burnley starting to kick in. I'm getting worried, says Louis. I've seen a few. We did a stream, myself and Jord, last night to watch the Cardiff Burnley game. And there's a few people saying that in the comments, that they're getting a little bit worried that Burnley is starting to kick into gear a little bit in terms of scoring. And Marcus Edwards is looking sharp. They've got Manuel Benson back. Josh Brownhill started last night and scored. Yeah, they're a good side, but I think we're better. I genuinely think we're better. Burnley's form is on the up, and they are scoring more. The signing of Marcus Edwards as Phil is great for them. They're still in the title hunt. Really, the title hunt. So what are they? 7 behind? No, they're 5 behind Leeds now, aren't they? They're 5 behind Leeds. I can't see Leeds dropping or Burnley gaining 5 more points than Leeds for the rest of the season. They could. I can't. I think it's a big ask. Leeds have got to go to Portsmouth and in 3 weeks go to Middlesbrough. 2 games they could slip up. Absolutely right. So there's any game you could slip up in this league. Swans, I think Leeds have got to play Swansea, which looks like on paper one of the more straightforward games you'd play. If they get a new manager in, which they've been linked with a new manager today, nobody knows what effect that has, particularly on the bounce for the first game. So it could be anything. There's no result. Who expected Plymouth to beat Sunderland? Who expected Hull to beat Sunderland? Who expected Hull to beat Sheffield United 3-0 at Bramall Lane? We didn't, and we knew the lineup. We knew how weak, and when I say weak, I mean we were spent. We knew that we were absolutely running on fumes, but we still expected a result. And it didn't happen. Maury says, I can see Danny Roll going to either Southampton or Ipswich if McKenna is to go. Also, even Leicester City due to Van Nistelrooy not doing so good with Leicester, and I can't see him dropping down. No, I think Van Nistelrooy will go in the summer as well, but I think Southampton to Danny Roll's been a long-term link, and it used to be there. It used to be there, so I think it's a natural assumption, and he's rumoured to be going back into. Apart from the financial aspect, says Bright, there's not much I like about the Prem. Change of dates and times you play, losing so much more. Big time Charlies. I do love the champ for its interest and excitement. Yeah, it's a big point of discussion for us. It's much more enjoyable being in the Championship. But to be continue to be a strong Championship side year after year, you have to have the finance to support that push. And you have to be a parachute team, essentially, to be able to spend that money. So you have to do the yo-yo. And it feels like, and we've said this before as well, it feels like taking a season off. Season on, season off, season on. This is our season on, where we'll enjoy ourselves, and we'll take a season off next year and get battered and lose 25 times next season. Let's hope with the new ownership, we can kick on a little bit and sort of make some sort of impact at Premier League level if we can get there. Because it's still it's hanging in the balance, isn't it? Burnley are not going away. Not going away. We need to win on Sunday. Massive game, says LUFC Passion. Portsmouth away is tough, innit? Again, people see that on paper and think easy Leeds win. Portsmouth have been in good form up until very recently. I think they lose last time out to Luton. But they've been in really good form and pulling away from danger. They're not safe yet. So it's a potential banana skin for Leeds. Not an easy place to go. But Leeds are a lot better than them, aren't they? So you'd expect Leeds to go there and win. But it's the Championship. Burnley were gifted them 2 goals last night and ran out lucky winners, in my opinion. I agree. Will says, love the handbags at the start of this. I have to do it. I have to clear it up, Will. I have to clear it up. And as I say, I've spoken to Connor. We're all good. We always have been. And we always will be, because it's never personal. But I was just saying, look, expect a receipt for that you did yesterday, because I thought it were below the belt. So, and now people know you were trying to spin them a yarn. But that's life. L-Dog says, am I being overconfident? But bar Burnley, I genuinely can't see us losing a game for the rest of the season. But in the scenario we don't go up, I'm worried about losing the likes of Gus, Cooper, Souza, and Nell. Yeah, I am too. I think those 4 could leave. I think we'll hang on to Cooper. I'd love to think we can hang on to Cooper. But I think the other 3 definitely go if we don't go up. In terms of can't see us losing a game, I would have said, other than Burnley, I would have said big ask. And I still think it's a big ask. But then when you're going through, because we did again on Monday, we did this on 3 Mardy Blades. Myself, Dave the Nose, and Man Mountain. Man Mountain had us losing to Burnley only. I had us, I think it were like 4 wins, 5 draws, or 5 wins, 4 draws. We were unbeaten. 6 wins, 5 draws, 5 wins, 6 draws. Unbeaten, just because you go game by game. And I think I saw us drawing at Burnley, for example, I think, and stuff like that. But I think we might draw at Hillsborough. And I got lowest points total. Dave the Nose had us 9 wins, 2 draws. Because you're going game by game. And on paper, we should be winning games, shouldn't we? That's how it should be going. But it's never played on paper, so it's always interesting to do them sort of things. We don't often do that on this channel, so it's good to sort of delve into something different and have some different content where we can sort of reassess maybe on what we're doing. Prem's no fun at all, says Andy, but all the clubs need the cash. Yeah, that's right. Maury says, I personally want us to be in the Championship, or if we don't, I think we'll lose Anel, Sousa, O'Hare, Hamer, or Coops. I think we'll keep O'Hare and hopefully Cooper. But yeah, we lose the rest, I think. Bryce says, I do wonder why Southampton aren't getting the stick we got. Can't help thinking the big time Charlies like Lineker and that don't want us there. I'm not bothered about that, to be honest, Bry. I know a lot of people say that, and I've mentioned it because I think that's true, that they're not getting anywhere near the attention that we got when we were so poor last season. But are we bothered? Are we bothered? I don't need to be compared. I don't need my club to be compared to anybody. And also, we get all the local media and stuff as well, don't we? So we see a lot. It's a lot more in your face about the local teams because a lot of us are close. In Southampton, it might be all over their local news as well in terms of how disgraceful a season it is. It's the worst season ever. Pompey fans might be all over them, which you'd probably expect that they are. So it's probably a lot more tense depending where you are regionally as well, I would probably suggest. Alessandro says, we're lucky Burnley play West Brom, Luton, Coventry, us, Norwich and QPR. They're tough games, aren't they? They're tough games. 3 of those are pushing for playoffs and Luton need to fight for survival. They'll drop points, says Alessandro. Oh, you're right. And Andy might agree as well. Agrees, Alessandro. Sheffield United's next 4, also tricky though, right? Both teams drop points. Always happens. Absolutely. It's who holds the nerve, isn't it? Who holds the nerve? I ain't even seen Leeds fixtures. I'm not even bothered about looking at Leeds fixtures because at the minute it's about doing our bit, isn't it? We need to focus on doing our bit. We win at the weekend, then it's another step closer, isn't it? Step closer to Leeds because they play on the Sunday. Pressure on Leeds United, like it with pressure on Burnley last night, and they came through it. Paul says, in response to Brian, how many games have been moved for Sky in the Championship? That's true. Only 8 home games in 23 on Saturdays at 3 p.m. It means we get next season regardless, which it means we will get this next season regardless of which league we're in. Yeah, that's fair as well. I think Kassam Stadium will be a tough one against Oxford. Yeah, it will, Maury. Gary Rowett in charge, but also Plymouth. They look structured despite a few losses. Yeah, I was saying the other night, it's destined to be the one that Michael Cooper finally drops a clanger into it, the Plymouth game going back home. Let's hope that doesn't happen, but you can see it written, can't you? There's all sorts of little stories that can be written along the way. I think Leeds play Millwall, don't they? Which is never, there's always a little bit of niggle between those two clubs as well. Even Leeds are going to drop points. None of us are winning 9 games in a row. I agree, Louis. I agree. L-Dog says, my main worry is next, like I said in a moment ago, losing Anel, Gus, etc. I hope we use those funds to try and replace them with adequate quality. Surely if Anel, Sousa, Gus leaves, you're looking at close to 60 million. Absolutely you are. Absolutely, that's what you're looking at. And I think we'll go again and we'll invest it. It's a little bit like a smaller version of what Leeds have done this season. Leeds sold Somerville, Rutter. I think there were another one. I can't remember off the top of my head. But they brought in over 100 million quid. And that allowed them to spend like 30 million, I think, on transfer fees. So they've a huge net gain. So loads of wiggle room in the budget for PSR and FFP. And again, Connor or whoever else is in the chat at the minute can probably correct me if I'm wrong with that. But we would be on a smaller scale than that. We would probably bring in 60, maybe 70 million quid and maybe spend 20, 25 and hopefully get a similar balance to what they've got. Agreed, Paul says, Bri, it was just one of my reasons for not liking the Prem. Yeah, them and all the rest. Kieran says, without being arrogant, I had this chat with a lad at work this morning regarding fixtures remaining. I had us drawing at Burnley and Plymouth. The rest should win. That's 106 points. Is it? No, I think 2 draws and 9 wins as is at 102. That's what my mountain worked out anyway. Didn't Leeds spend 3 or 5 million on Autanaka? They spent 3.3 or 3.4 million. I think it were about 4 million euros. That's up there with probably the signing of the season. Obviously, we've got a lot of players that you could put in that running, but he's probably their best player. And you look at the strength of their squad. I think he's been a fantastic signing for him. So yeah, it's not just about spending the money, is it? It's about spending it wisely and in the right places. Hi, Jimmy says, Craig, just caught up. I'm in the doghouse, watched the Mardy Blades the other night, and I've been singing Dave the Nose tune all the time, even in my sleep. Nice one, Craigo. Nice one, pal. Yeah. Dave got some stick from Andy the Blade about his theme song. So we played it on Mardy Blades just to see what people thought. And surprisingly, that got a bit more love than View from the Mountain, which I think is, for me, would be the top one. But, you know, no team are getting more than 100 points this season, in my opinion. I think Leeds might, mate. I think Leeds might. Phil rightly says every match is a potential banana skin. There are many teams with something to play for, automatic playoffs and fighting relegation. Nothing would surprise me. That's so true at this point. I think when you get to 5 games to end at season and you've got Millwall in 13th, for example, and can't go up, can't go down, can only maybe move 3 places either way, that might be when it's ideal to play them. I don't know when Leeds have got them, to be fair. Maury says it's a steal. Absolutely right, it was. Craig says, wife says she could put up with that, but when I started to do the arm movements, I've been exiled ever since. Didn't Leeds lose Sinistera? Yeah, and Crescencio Somerville, whatever the names are. Yeah, they did. So Sinistera went to Bournemouth, didn't he? I think Somerville to West Ham. They lost Archie Gray as well. That were another big one. Great money coming in and big players to lose, but they've recruited really well as well. So as much as, you know, I try and be fair. I try and just be honest about my opinion on it. You've got to give them credit for stuff they do well as well. And I think they will win the league. But it does pay me to say it because I would love it if we beat them. Love it. Think top 3 signings in the league: Michael Cooper, Autanaka, and that Steve guy from Burnley. Steve. Yes, absolutely right. That's probably right. We're only 1 accrued behind Leeds. I keep getting told off for using that by our own fans for using the accrued. Joe hates it. Joe Gibson, accrued champions. Connor, we're asking, what would I celebrate winning the title if we finished a point behind Leeds? Yeah, I would. Yeah, because we've won more points than them on the pitch. Bob says last year was a freak year, but on average, 88 points are required to achieve automatic promotion to the Premier League. So that's 4 more wins for Leeds and 5 for Sheffield United. Interesting, very interesting stats, Bob. Very interesting indeed. L-Dog says, say we do stay down, looking at the 3 coming down, Ipswich are the only ones I look at that'll dominate the league. Leicester and Southampton will be stripped of their best players. Might be a Luton 2.0. What's stopping Ipswich from becoming a Luton 2.0? And I'm not saying they will. I don't think they will. Nobody expected Luton to be as bad as they have been this season. But if Liam Delap goes, which he will, he'll stay in the Premier League, you would think, wouldn't you? And I know they've got other good players in the squad. They've bought really strongly, but I don't think they're formidable. They will be very good, and they'll certainly be top 6, and they'll be really tough to go up against. But I don't think they're the only ones that are. I think Leicester and Southampton keep better players than Ipswich potentially. That's just an instinct opinion, to be fair. Liam says, afternoon, pal. Loving these rambles when I get in from work. Hope you're well. Weeds also lost Rutter to Brighton. Looking at our remaining games, I'm confident we get second comfortably. Up all the rambles. Please like and subscribe. There you go. Liam's confident. Love a bit of confidence, pal. Don't mind that at all. Wish I had a bit more of it, to be honest. It was Burnley result last night that's done me. Like they were quite clearly in our comments section were saying that the QPR result has done them. Or us winning at QPR really knocked wind out of the sails. Well, last night that sort of did it for me a little bit, where you think, oh, they're not going away, are they? They're not going away. So again, we have to do the business and hope. Oh, Burnley got at the weekend. I don't even know, but hope that Burnley slip up again. Isaac says, I think if we do miss out, biggest mistake is not replacing Suter. Our defence was 10 times better with him, and we focused mainly on our attacking signings, leaving us with Robbo, who has been shaky. Opportunistically, I could jump on that. But I have to go what is naturally against the grain for me and say, I don't think Robinson has been shaky. That is an honest opinion rather than an ingrained opinion. I don't think he has. I think he's been all right, Robbo. We haven't been as solid defensively without Harry Suter. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But I don't think you can single-handedly pick Robinson out and say that's the reason why. We brought Rob Holding in, which I think was a great signing. I'm still surprised he's not playing because I think you go with your best 2. And I don't think we are at the moment. But I think it's very harsh pinning it on Robinson. I do tend to agree. But I think we're past the point of I've made my point about bring Rob Holding in. He's a better player than Robinson, blah, blah, blah. But the longer it goes on, you know, and we get another clean sheet or we get another victory, why are you taking Robinson out now at that stage then? The Leeds game were the one for me. The toughest game we've got, you play your best 11. No matter the form, you play your best 11. And he went with Robinson. Agree, L-Dog. Ipswich far stronger than Luton. I think, Jimmy, loads of good champ and bigger club. Luton, Tim Pot, respectfully. Yeah, I'm not sure you can say that respectfully, but fair enough. Louis says Leicester dominated the league last year. This time last year, they were on 79 points and still didn't reach a 100-point mark. It's very hard. All teams starting to play for something. I'm pretty sure Leeds get to 100 points. They've got 24 more points to get. So that's what, 8 wins out of the last 11. Oh, it's not easy, is it? It's not easy, but I think they will. Burnley looked vulnerable. I thought so, Chris. I thought so, but that you don't know what effect that's got on them, do you? Because showing resilience after a bad performance per se, or shaky performance, can also bolster them in terms of confidence. Luton at home, says Luke. Connor, Jimmy, I went to Chef Grammar School. Later sanguis in Herbert, a snake lies hidden in the grass. Oh, there's no snakes here, pal. No snakes here. Up the Blades, up all the rambles from a blade in Spain. Luton at home, Jimmy, I think we beat them. Oh, is that okay? Yeah. This season would say you do comfortably, don't it, Andy? But just maybe. Oh, that's this Saturday then, is it? Yeah, I think you probably do. I've just got to hope that Luton have turned a bit of a corner mentally and think after their win last weekend that they can go and make it 2 on the bounce. But I don't hold that much hope for that, to be honest. In all honesty, we both want Burnley to drop points. Absolutely right, we do. Absolutely right, we do, Pash. We do indeed. Luke says, hi, Jimmy, do you think if we had a fit suitor for the whole season, we will go up as champions? Yeah, I think we not definitely. And again, I don't want to sound arrogant. I'm just telling you what I believe in my own team. We're a much better side with Harry Souttar in it. And we had a defensive record second only to Burnley. I think we were something like 9 conceded and they were 6 conceded, like 20 games in or something. Harry Souttar goes down injured and our defence or our goals conceded and, you know, shots faced by Michael Cooper goes up significantly. It's not a coincidence, is it? So I think we are probably 6 points better off with Harry Souttar in the side, but Leeds would also push back on that. And again, I don't speak for entire fan bases, unlike some, but they would probably push back and say if they had a better goalkeeper than Melier, who's chucked a couple in this season, then they would also be 3-6 points better off. So it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I think we can all point to holes in our own side, really. Burnley will say if they had a number 9, they'd be better off. We ain't got to fit Harry Souttar, unfortunately. We might have next season. I think we will have if we go up, you know. Whether he can do it at Prem level is a different discussion, but I think he'll come back, in all honesty. Liam says they were lucky last night at Burnley. They have West Brom at home next Tuesday. They still have to go to Coventry and Watford and QPR, all tricky away games. That's a really tricky running, actually, Liam. We need to have a proper look at their running on a different stream. But yeah, West Brom, who obviously took points off Leeds and are 6th currently, need to fight for that playoff spot. Coventry, who are 5th away at Coventry. We've got Coventry at home. Watford, who will still be in and around the playoffs. QPR, who had a bit of a resurgence, but obviously I don't think they were great against us, if I'm honest. Luton at home, pal, this weekend. Yeah, I think they'll beat Luton, to be honest. Up all the rambles, please like and subscribe. Thank you, pal. I'm going to try and get through what I can. Joe says, going to be an interesting running. Got all tough games left. Scared it could come down to that game at Burnley, but let's hope they keep drawing and start to concede and we can open up a gap up the Blades, up the Ramble. L-Dog says, I do think we get top 2. I'm sure Burnley gets at least 2 to 3 more draws. So that's 4 or 6 points dropped. Gives us room for another 2 losses or so. That's without even playing them into account. Okay. Article on the news now saying Jimmy Dunn to the Blades in the summer. Oh, interesting. Nice one, Bri. I think that's going to be a done deal, isn't it? But that will be sorted in the summer. Bob says 21st of April, the biggest 6-pointer of all time, Burnley v Sheffield United, winner takes all. I think it's done before then, Bob, to be honest. I think it's too late in the season. If it comes 6 games before the end, I think it is a decider. But we come in 3 games before the end. I'm not sure We might be. But there was a chance last night we could have been 5 points away from you with like 11 games left to play. We're not, because you won the game and you won it, fair play. Not you, sorry, Burnley. Maury says, I think Robbo has done well recently. I personally don't rate him, but I think so. You drop a captain. And who's to say Holding may be worse than Jack Robinson in a full 90? I don't think he will be, personally. And again, that's just an opinion, Maury. Alessandro says the Robbo slander is so boring. Yes, he's a mistake in him, but he's actually been good. Criticism is unfair. Man of the match in the QPR game. Same goes for people slating Cannon already. Yeah, I can't. Again, everybody knows my opinion on Jack Robinson. I like to think that I've tamed myself on that a little bit, maybe against the grain, but I've acknowledged that I've got preconceived perceptions of Jack Robinson, and I can't come out and sort of stick my flag in the sand about Tom Cannon saying you've got to give him a chance. You've got to give him a chance. If I'm still saying Jack Robinson's third best, you need to get him out of the side when he's not really made a mistake to take him out of the side. So I get it. I don't see Leeds losing any more than 2 games for the rest of the season, says Joe. I don't. Reckon Blaster is back for the last couple of games, Jim, potentially playoffs. Don't even like to think about playoffs, pal, but I think Blaster will be back before end of the season. Luton have to start winning. 5-point gap might not be as easy as expected. I hope not. Big Tone says Burnley are at home to Luton, then at home to West Brom. That's a big game, innit? That's a really big game, West Brom at home. We'll probably be doing a watch-along for that if it's on the telly. Skiddy says, I used to love watching Connor and Joe a few years ago. Basham arriving season to see him squirm. Can't handle listening to you talk with Connor and on about him all the time. Leeds fans are so delusional, says Skiddy. Well, I would say that's how I started off. I started watching him on that channel, and I only watched him when they lost because I used to love the meltdowns, and now I get to do it to his face and rub it in. But obviously, I have to take it on chin when he gives it back, and that's fair enough if it's not for you, pal. Maury says, I think they'll beat Luton and draw to West Brom. I personally think teams in the playoffs, Sunderland, West Brom, Coventry at the minute, are horrible playoff sides to face. I agree. I proper rate West Brom this season. If we do go up, you could make an argument for Burnley, Sunderland, West Brom, or Coventry all winning playoffs, couldn't you? You could make an argument for them all. Louis says, don't Burnley have a worse home record than away? Yes, I think they might do, actually. 102 and 106, that's maximum we can get. Yeah, I thought so. Maury says, even though they're a draw merchants, but they still play well. Yes, yeah, they do. And he says, defo not saying it's easy, Joe. No easy games at all. And I rate Doughty and Morris. But overall, I'm happy to play bottom of the league at home to pile pressure on the Yorkshire teams. Yeah, so you should be. Joe says, I'd like Dunn in the summer, but I feel we'd still need another suitor like centre half. I think we'd be getting Dunn for right back, I know a lot of us wanted him for centre half. I think he'd be coming in as a right back option now. We're going to have a team of monsters. West Brom have not lost to any of the top 4 and still have Burnley and Sunderland to play. And if we're to lose again this season, I think it could only be one more game, pal, to be honest. Up the Blades, up the Ramble, like and subscribe. Oh, what are you doing to me, pal? Jimmy Dunn to us in the summer, says Maury. I think Dunn did well the other day for QPR against us. And you could see how they put everything through him as well, couldn't you? You could see how that were their focus. He was a main player for them. He's been playing well for him this season. If we don't get top 2, can we forfeit the playoffs? I can't deal with it, says Isaac. Yes, please. Well, you don't get Io Tanaka's in the Prem, though. They had another 5 to 10 mil on top. That's true. I hope we do chuck a sensible bit of money at it if we go up this time. I think we will. Kyle. Joe says the problem with Robbo isn't that he plays bad. It's the fact he looks like he's constantly going to make a mistake and never looks comfortable to me. I agree with that. But that's our perception, isn't it, rather than what's happening on the field. I know that can affect other players on the field as well. And there's been an argument that Anel's been affected by Jack Robinson. That's only Anel knows if that's true. You will be in Triple Point on Tuesday, pal. We've got Bristol. I'm going to make an appearance. Can't wait to meet you all, pal. Absolutely right. I will see you there, Liam. First time I'll met Liam, who's been a long time supporter of the channel. So yes, mate, I'll look forward to meeting you finally in the flesh on Tuesday night. Playoffs, as long as we don't play Sunderland till the final, I'm confident we'd win it, which is crazy to say as a Blades fan. L-Dog. I am the least confident going into the playoffs. I think just because of the drop-off, at how much of a blow it'll be to morale, I can't even contemplate it, to be honest. Bob says, love to see Coventry and Burnley in the playoff final. Talk about Battle of the Egos. Well, are they egotistical? Or do you mean? Oh, you mean the managers? Surely you mean the managers. Yeah, probably. Harvey says, "Come on, drop off. We can't be stuck with Burnley in the playoffs. We were much better than them in both games, and we took 4 points off them. It should have been 6 with them 2 pens. They are horrible to play." I know, mate. I'm not looking forward to going to Turf Moor, I must say. Burnley have a good home record. They're not lost at home yet and only lost 2 games all season. Up the Blades, up the Ramble. Please like and subscribe, says Liam. Yes, but who's won the most games this season, Liam? Sheffield United is the answer. Sheffield United. I mentioned Tuesday, pal, as they're playing West Brom same day, so it'd be hard to do a watch-along. It'd be very hard to do a watch-along because I'll be at the game, yeah. Well said. Lampard v Parker, yeah. We need to avoid these playoffs purely so I can enjoy watching it. Yeah, it'll be great for a neutral, won't it? Not for us. Anyway, thank you to everybody for joining me today. I appreciate they're a bit awkward sometimes, these midday ones. I would have been earlier today. I usually like to go around 12 o'clock if we can, but again, now got internet in the studio properly wired in, no messing about. Hopefully there'll be uninterrupted streams from this point forward. So it's a huge step forward for us as a channel. Thank you to everybody for their continued support. And I'll see you at 7 o'clock tonight because we're doing the warm-up. So come on, you red and white wizards. Up the Blade!